I really liked Open Squash Mission. I really liked the goal, the idea of a group of friends playing together, going out together, men, women, boys, girls, from all age groups. It's just spectacular having like so many good friends in one place, just training, playing. Reminds me of college a little bit, right?
Welcome to Season 1, Episode 3 of Boast About It. This time we're going to talk to one of our pros, the world-famous Amr Khalifa. Amr, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
So happy to be here with you and this beautiful weather.
Yeah, we're trying outside for the first time. This is the rooftop deck of Open Squash, 100 Pearl Street. You should come down and check it out. Amr, you started playing squash as a junior in Egypt, the #1 squash playing country in the world. Tell me, how did you start? What was that like? How old were you?
So I started when I was 6 years old in a club called Maadi Club. My dad was a very good friend with the famous or the most legend Amr Khalifa, and he was like, "Have you tried playing squash before?" And he asked him to play with him in Kuwait, and they played the first time, and he absolutely loved it. He thought this is like the best sport ever. And at the time he called me and he was like, "Amr, I think you should try playing squash. This is a lot of fun. And in Egypt, it's a very popular sport. A lot of people play it. Just walking into the squash and seeing all of the world champions, I was like, why not try it? And maybe one day it could be like, these like world champions, really."
I think your dad and I started playing the same time, because still when I make a good squash, I still say, Shabana!
Exactly, yes.
Because he had some amazing flicks and like unbelievable shots.
Yes.
So you started at 6.
Right.
What were those classes like? And because you actually, just to tease the whole audience, you became the #1 junior in the world.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So, talk to us about that progression from your first class as a 6-year-old, what you like about it, and how was that growing up through the ranks?
Well, the best part about squash in Egypt and squash in general is that you see a lot of kids playing at a really young age, all together. Just get into classes with, let's say, 5, 6 other kids. You make very good friends.
Are you still friends with the kids that you played squash with?
We played soccer. We played, went to the swimming pool together, dinner together, which is the best part about it. We created this community, and it was the reason why I was like, okay, I want to go to these classes. I wanted to go to these sessions every day. I didn't feel like I had to train. I felt like it was home, and I felt like I was the one who was. If Amr didn't do his homework, he's not going there. So it's kind of like this, kind of like the punishment.
So it's like chocolate, or
exactly.
a great thing.
Yes.
How old were you when you sort of when you or your coach or your parents first realized, oh, he might actually be really good at this sport?
I actually started swimming.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it, until like I was 11, and then after picking up squash, I was like, I think I'm in the wrong sport. My mom was, fully supporting me to be a swimmer. My dad was, no, you're being a squash player. So there was this argument.
A little tension in the house.
Exactly. This argument whether I should be more of a squash player, whether I should be more of a swimmer. So when I was 11 years old, so I won it was actually interesting. So I won the national championship for squash and swimming on the same day. On the same exact day. Yes. So I finished one of the squash matches in the final, and then after that I had to go. I was like, I was really exhausted, didn't want to go.
But after that, that's when you're like, I really want to focus more on squash. So from 12, 13, 14, you really focused more on squash.
Yes.
Talk to us about that journey.
It's incredible because I would say the federation or the squash federation in general, they host or organize a tournament every maybe week or every other week, which is a lot of tournaments, a lot of matches to play, thinking about the ranking all the time, thinking about how do I get better, how do I beat this player, and that got me into, we got so much better myself and all like my generation into just getting better and progressing and playing so much better squash in such short time, just because there were so many players, so many matches in one season, and then we were like, okay, well, by 16 we were ready to play PSA, or maybe before that actually. I started 15, and we got to the point that that we had to actually, okay, we cannot play all the tournaments. There was a lot of tournaments because
And that's more tournaments than the entire PSA. So.
Yeah, yes, probably yes.
Yeah.
Because we would get injured just because of how many hours were on court, how many the intensity of the training sessions. So definitely it was definitely great at the time, but I think a good balance is always a good thing to do.
Yeah. When you won the finals of the World Junior Championships,
Yes.
who was your opponent?
Ali Farag.
Ali Farag.
Yes.
Right. So just for the record,
Yes.
world number one Ali Farag lost to you in the finals of the World Junior.
So I played with Ali in the final of the Worlds in Ecuador, and then I played with him maybe less than a year after the final of the British Junior Open under 19. Yeah. And the result was completely different.
Really?
He took his revenge. Then in 4 months, maybe less, in 4 months he took his revenge and he played extremely well, and he was just super hard to beat. So. I wasn't very super happy for a long time. He took his revenge right away.
Did you go onto the Pro Tour after that?
Yes, I played for a year. I reached word number 50 in the world, and and then I won nine PSA titles. Really enjoyed it. Thank you. Really enjoyed it. It was a great time.
So far, you've grown up in Egypt. You've been part of this junior thing. You've gone on to win the World Junior Championship, and you're in high school. You go into the PSA. You're in the top 50, and then you decided you wanted to go to college. How did you decide that you wanted to go to college, and where you should go to college?
So it was an interesting story. I went to the U.S. with my brother. He was playing under 19. I finished juniors at the time. And I met at the time the president of U.S. Squash, who was Peter Lasusa, who he's a role model to me and helped me so much throughout my career. And he his son Tim, who's my co-captain at St. Lawrence, he was like, "Why don't you
play
pursue? Here? Yeah, why didn't you think about that? Think about St. Lawrence, think about colleges in general." I was like, I didn't think about that, but yeah, I would love to hear more about it, to just understand. And this is the time when I had an injury, and it wasn't a pleasant one. It wasn't a good one in my back.
Do you mind telling us a little bit about what your injury was, how you happened, and how it affected you?
So it started after the World Juniors. I was playing in a PSA tournament in Italy, and I felt it on my back a little bit. One of the things that I did not do well is proper squat technique and lift a lot of weights. And this is one of the things that, when I was 18, 19, I'm feeling a really sharp pain in my back, and that should not be the case.
No.
Should not be the case.
No. What did you do about it at that time? Did you just take time off, or what did you do?
Yeah, I took time off. I went to so many different doctors all over the world, really.
And at this time you were living in Egypt, right?
This time I was living in Egypt.
Right.
And one thing for sure was that my back looked older than it should have.
Yeah.
Right. And then there's so many different things that I should have been doing, and I wasn't doing it well.
Right.
At the time. It's something that you could easily avoid.
Yeah.
Right. A couple of 5-10 minutes a day routines that just very simple.
Yeah.
Really. But we never heard of, or I was never taught. So that made the difference. And then I really thought about, well, the college squash right now in the U.S. is incredible, and the level so many good players are playing, including Ali at the time.
Yeah.
So why don't I think about that and try it? and I thought it was a great
Did you look at
decision.
a lot of different places, or because of Peter and Tim Lasouza, did you just be like, I like this college? Did you just look at the one?
I definitely looked at so many different schools.
Yeah.
What I liked about St. Lawrence is it's a new program. There were a lot of good players who are trying to build the program and build something special. Um, and and I really liked the coach, Chris Aplanup, and I believe that I believe that one day we could be as good as all the top
Squash powerhouse.
Yes, exactly. And the good part is that we did. The fun part and the best story about it is that we, in almost 4 years, we're competing for the national championship title, and that was to all of us was very special.
St. Lawrence is in upstate New York. That must have been a fairly big culture shock from moving. Where were you living in Egypt? In Cairo? Or
In Cairo, yes.
you were living in Cairo
Yes.
to living in upstate New York.
Right.
That's not the same.
It's super cold. That's the main part. But to be honest, just because of how many good friends I had there, squash team, how friendly people are, it just made things super easy to adjust, and be always busy, whether studying, playing, training, competing. It was relatively a smooth adjustment.
So you go through college, you graduate. Did you go back onto the tour after that? And if not, why not?
I did not go to after the tour. After that, the dream after that was to go to Wall Street, and I went to meet a lot of people, and through university and people over there, they introduced me to many kind of business owners and people in the industry, in the banking industry, and I really liked it. I thought this is what I want to do until I did not.
That must have been very tough, going from being a kid in Cairo who's good at athletics to having a great job on Wall Street is another great achievement. Like, it's not an
Thank you.
obvious path. So, but then achieving that goal and then deciding that you don't want to do it, it seems to me like that would be a hard thing to do.
It is very hard. I remember my boss at the time, he was like, "Are you sure you want to leave?
Yeah.
You know how many people want this seat?" I was like, honestly, yeah, I know how many people want that. But the thing is, if I'm not doing it, if I don't think it's meaningful to me,
Yeah.
because certain things are meaningful to people differently, I don't think it was that specific job was meaningful to me. And I thought, okay, well, I was just not being myself. And it's very hard to perform when you're not, when I'm not myself. I think I made the right decision. I'm happy about it.
And so from then, so you decided to walk away from a lot of money, right? Very prestigious job, master of the universe, and you went back to Egypt, right?
Yes, I worked in finance for a year. At the time, the president of the U.S. Of the Egyptian squash reached out, and he was like, "Would you like to kind of run the Egyptian team, the Egyptian junior team, national team?" And I was like, "This is interesting. I haven't been in squash for a long time, but
How long was your break?
2 years. But it was like 7-8 years until I actually moved back to Egypt. So I haven't been in Egypt for around 7-8 years. After that I was like, I want to try this. I want to try just working with the players and seeing how things work, and I really, really enjoyed it. Found myself, okay, well, this is very meaningful. I'm adding so much value into that, and just being myself.
Needless to say, you coached the team to some championships.
Yes.
And that's where we, Open Squash, found you, right?
Right.
You were coaching the Egyptian national team.
Yes.
And so it obviously wasn't New York you were running away from. It was the job, because you decided you'd like to come back. Talk to us about that decision. I was not involved in that decision. I was not involved in that decision.
No, I definitely, I always like new challenges and adventures, and thinking about how do we make things even better and better. So the way I thought about it is I really liked Open Squash mission. I really liked the goal, the idea of a group of friends playing together, going out together, men, women, boys, girls from all age groups. It's just spectacular having like so many good friends in one place, just training, playing. Reminds me of college a little bit, right? And this is something that's it's very unique, just to Open Squash, that we have like kind of this environment of people just coming in one day, in 3 months they're playing good squash, they're competing, and they started, you know, asking more people to play. They're bringing their friends and enjoying the sport.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, thank you for being here. How's the transition been?
It's great. I mean, New York is one of my favorite cities
New York's
in
fantastic.
the world. In the world, you can see like
yeah,
we're
yeah.
really
Welcome to
enjoying
New
that. So New York is just amazing city.
Yeah.
So I'm just super happy to be here, working with so many great coaches, so many good you know, people, members, making friends almost every day.
I think you've taken the whole level of coaching to another level here.
Thank you
for that.
Thank you.
But what are your goals at Open Squash over the next year, 18 months?
Different people getting to know this amazing sport. This is the main goal, right? And I think we've been doing well, just getting more people into the game and understanding what it is, and they start bringing, you know, their friends and just growing the community, the squash community.
Just before we close, do you have anything you would like to ask of the squash community?
I would love to ask everyone to come check out Open Squash. This is an amazing, incredible facility, and as you can see, this is you can't see that anywhere in the world, really. Just play squash, enjoy. It's a super friendly friends and people, and can't wait to see you all here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for
Thank
spending
you.
time with us. This was fantastic.
Thank you very much.